Weather station selection for short-term and near-term fire behavior. This short video will provide information about selecting weather stations for use in the short-term and near-term fire behavior models, including information and considerations for selecting weather stations for both the short-term and near-term fire behavior models. Other videos within this general topic include weather station selection for FS Pro. The short-term and near-term fire behavior models are useful tools for assessing potential fire spread in the short and near term. As with many models, however, quality inputs are needed to produce quality outputs. In this video, we will discuss weather station selection. Let's first start with the station selection for short-term fire behavior. Please note that the same considerations for station selection for short-term fire behavior also apply to the selection for basic fire behavior. To select the weather station for a short-term run, first view the short-term information screen of an analysis shown here. Then expand the drop-down menu under Station to view the stations available for selection. You will notice that when first viewing this page, a weather station is pre-populated. In this example, the ski hill RAWs. The initial selection is just the default and should be evaluated and changed as needed. Stations listed are generally within 1 degree of latitude and longitude of the incident or region. The closest station, based on the formula for distance and elevation, that is currently reporting observations is the first displayed station. Remember, a station must be currently reporting to be in the selection list. In some parts of the country, some stations do not report in the winter months, making simulation modeling challenging. But as long as the station begins reporting again in the spring, the station will again be available for selection in WFDS. If you are unfamiliar with the location of some of the stations in relation to the fire area, you can view the station locations by selecting Analysis Map from the left-hand menu. From the map screen, expand the menu for Fire Related and turn on the RAWs stations. You may need to zoom out to find the stations. Which are denoted with red and black circles. Please note that the locations of the stations on this map are based on the latitude and longitude values in the Weather Information Management System WIMS. Errors in the station location may result from incorrect values in WIMS. If you are unfamiliar with an area, it is always advised to check with local fire personnel to verify the station location is accurate before selecting the station. The weather station selected for short-term fire behavior analysis generates inputs for components of the model, including wind information, initial fuel moisture values, weather stream data, and wind stream data. Understanding the inputs that are based on the selected station can help you in station selection. The analyst's intent is to select a station that best represents weather and wind conditions at the fire location. This can be difficult due to station density, but specific values can be adjusted. First, the station you select will inform the wind information. You can view the inputs used by selecting the drop-down to the left of wind information. Wind speed and direction are populated for the selected hour chosen in the General Parameters section at the top. The data comes from the recorded observations at the selected weather station if the analysis is in the past, and from a gridded weather stream, the National Digital Forecast Database, if the analysis is in the future. In this example, the wind speed and direction for the ski hill RAWs at 1300 hours is 3 miles per hour and from 269 degrees. Keep in mind that with short-term fire behavior, this wind speed and direction will be used for the entire simulation time and will not vary. Also note that the wind speed and direction can be overwritten. The user can just type over and replace the inputs of these values. This option is employed when analysts are trying to simulate a specific speed or direction to game out potential fire weather scenarios. Or if the station wind or speed just doesn't match the observed or expected wind and speed at the fire's location for the simulation projection time period. The station chosen also informs the initial fuel moisture values. To view this section, expand the heading for initial fuel moisture values. Although the pre-populated values often need to be adjusted to match current fuels conditions, the initial numbers are calculated from the data provided from the station selected. See the WFTS Help section on Modifying Initial Fuel Moisture for recommendations for review and update of the populated values. Similar to the wind information, the values can be overwritten. The station selection also informs the weather stream. Past days data come from the recorded data for the station, and forecast data comes from the station-based grid location from the National Digital Forecast Database. It's important to note that this data is used to condition the fuels in short-term fire behavior, if fuel conditioning is turned on in the General Parameters section at the top. If values are not reflective of fire conditions, they can be adjusted. And finally, the station selection informs the wind stream. Keep in mind that in short-term fire behavior, the wind speed and direction used for the analysis do not come from this stream. The values come from the wind information section we reviewed earlier. It is actually the cloud cover values from this data that are used in conditioning the fuels, if fuel conditioning is being used. You can compare weather station values by viewing the values populated from one station, and then changing the station, selecting Save afterwards, and viewing another station. Ask local fire personnel for their input on station selection. Viewing station information and data in Fire Family Plus can provide insight onto past data, which can help inform your decision. Contact GAC meteorologists for information regarding weather station selection applicability. Be sure to select Save if you have made any manual adjustments to the input values based off of the selected station. Now we will look at station selection criteria for near-term fire behavior. I am now viewing the near-term information screen of a near-term analysis. In general, the analyst's goal will be the same as in short-term, finding a station that best represents wind and weather observed and expected on the fire. However, the inputs for this model are used differently, so we'll review them here as well. Again, use the drop-down to view the available stations for an analysis. Stations listed are generally within 1 degree of latitude and longitude of the entered incident location, and the closest station, based on a formula for distance and elevation, that is currently reporting observations, is the first displayed station. You can view the station locations from the analysis map as shown earlier if you are unfamiliar with the area. For near term, the station selection populates inputs for initial fuel moisture, the weather stream, and the wind stream. Expand the initial fuel moisture heading to view the values. These values are calculated from the selected weather station data, and as with the short-term model, the pre-populated values often need to be adjusted to match current fuel's conditions. See the WFTS Help topic on Modifying Initial Fuel Moisture for recommendations for review and update of the pre-populated values. Next, the station selected informs the inputs for the weather stream. Unlike with short-term, near-term fire behavior weather inputs values vary hourly. Data in the stream prior to the current days come from the recorded station data for the selected station and are used for conditioning. Forecast data comes from the National Digital Forecast grid location for the selected station. If past weather or projected weather does not match the observed or expected weather at the fire's location, the values can be edited. Finally, the station selected also influences the wind stream. Unlike short-term fire behavior, however, near-term fire behavior not only uses the cloud cover from previous days to condition the fuels, which comes from the recorded weather from the selected station, but it also uses the hourly wind speed and direction for forecast days, which come from the National Digital Forecast Database. You can compare weather station values by viewing the values populated from one station and then changing the station, selecting Save afterwards, and viewing another station. Ask local fire personnel for their input on station selection. Viewing station information and data in Fire Family Plus can provide insight on past data, which may help inform your decision. Contact GAC meteorologists for information regarding weather station selection applicability. Be sure to select Save if you have made any manual adjustments to the values based on the selected station. For both short-term and near-term analysis, the Notes section should be utilized to document station selection rationale. To do this, select Notes from the left-hand menu. And then type text describing how you selected the station. Select Save when you are done. Notes can be edited and deleted at any time. To review, in this video, we covered information and considerations for selecting weather stations for short-term and near-term fire behavior.